Okay, it went dark again. Do we need to tape it?
Well, but if you do that, then you go out the bottom and go this way.
Okay. All right. Just keep an eye on it.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are we on there now?
Are now, yeah.
We are now.
Yes. Hi, everyone, and a pleasant good afternoon to you wherever you may be. I am Tony Abady, and we are back here in Frontenac, Kansas this afternoon as the Fort Scott Lady Tiger basketball team is getting set to play another Lady Tiger basketball team. It's the Nevada Lady Tigers from Nevada, Missouri, of course, and you're getting ready to play the semifinals, winners bracket semifinals here in Frontenac as the Lady Tigers both Lady Tiger teams got wins yesterday in the opening round. So looking forward to this afternoon's contest. The winner of this game will go on to the championship game tomorrow afternoon. The loser of today's game will play in the third place game tomorrow morning, bright and early at 10 o'clock. So all kinds of fun stuff going on here in Frontenac to keep things going here. But again, Fort Scott is looking to keep their undefeated streak going. Lady Tigers come into play here today at 10-0 overall, and looking to keep that going if they can here against the Nevada team that is very good themselves. The Nevada Lady Tigers come in with a great record themselves after defeating or winning their first game yesterday. They are 10-6 overall coming into action today. And we're going to be looking, it's going to be interesting. It's one of the first times this year where Fort Scott is going to have a similar matchup in not only in team but in players. So we've talked all year about Keegan Yarick and how well she has done for the Lady Tigers. Second on the team in shooting percentage, 49%. Second on the team in three-point percentage. Leading the team in points per game and rebounds per game, 17.9 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game for Keegan Yarick of the Fort Scott Lady Tigers. But for Nevada, they've got an equally good player as Clara Swearingen averages 23 points a game. She had 37 in their game yesterday against Blue Valley Southwest. That's hard to do in any high school game, and she did it yesterday. She's also been nominated as a McDonald's All-American. She is signed to play at Pitt State next year, so she'll be right back down here in Crawford County at Pitt State. And, of course, Keegan is on her way to El Dorado to play for Butler Community College next year. So a couple of outstanding players that we'll get to see here against each other and a couple of outstanding teams as well. Looks like we're ready for the national anthem, so we'll go ahead and turn the microphone up. Hopefully we can get that for you back home. And, yeah, thanks for joining us here on Duckbait TV. And with that, we're just about ready to get things started here this afternoon. The Fort Scott Lady Tigers, again, coming in at 10-0 this season and hoping to keep that going here, as it looks like they will use their regular starting lineup. Get those starters marked and then tell you about those. So your starting lineups for this one here this afternoon. For the Lady Tigers of Fort Scott, they will go with, again, their usual starting lineup. 5'6" sophomore Abby Gorman, 5'6" senior Raven Kegler, 5'6" junior Allie Brown, 5'11" junior Kylie Comstock, and 5'8" sophomore 5'9" senior Keegan Yarick. Aubrey, I'm sure, will play in this one, but Keegan is going to start. For Nevada, they will go with senior Clara Swearingen, junior Kaylee Holcomb, senior Katie Johnson, senior Kara Phillips, and senior Lakin Applegate. And we are just about ready to get things underway here this afternoon. The Fort Scott Lady Tigers against the Nevada Lady Tigers. And the ball is in the air, and we are underway here. Your first quarter brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Jamie Armstrong here on Duckbait TV. And the Lady Tigers have the ball first. They'll work right to left across your screen. Pass goes inside to Raven Kegler. Shot is in and out, no good. Rebound, though, for Fort Scott. Shot there, no good. Put back by Gorman is good, though, and Fort Scott takes the early lead here. Two to nothing. Nevada working things through. Here's a shot in the corner by Swearingen. That one's good. So Clara Swearingen gets her first points of the afternoon. We expect to see her make several throughout the afternoon. It's now 3-2. Fort Scott trailing by one. Nevada in their road gray uniforms with the maroon letters and numbers. Here's the shot by Raven Kegler, no good. Rebound Fort Scott. And now a turnover. We got a whistle and a foul at the other end. Foul on Fort Scott. Foul's going to go on Kylie Comstock. First foul of the game, and it goes on. Goes on Kylie Comstock. Kara Phillips at the free throw line for two, but misses the first. Again, it's 3-2. Fort Scott trailing Nevada. Second free throw, that one's also no good, and Keegan Yarick comes down with the rebound. Gorman's got it, passes inside, it's knocked away and stolen. Swearingen brings it up the court for the Lady Tigers of Nevada. Now pass goes into the corner. Phillips with it, now back to the top into the hands of Kaylee Holcomb. Holcomb out near the center circle, that gigantic Raider on the middle of the court. Goes almost from one sideline to the other sideline. Pass, here's a three-pointer on the way. That one doesn't go. Keegan gets the rebound. And they'll come the other way. Three-pointer there for Keegan doesn't go. And a tie-up on the rebound. So 5:35 to go here in the first quarter. Pass deflected and knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Nevada. 3-2 is your score. Nevada with the lead over Fort Scott here. 5:30 to go in the first quarter. Thanks again for joining us here on Duckbait TV. Pass goes into the corner there to Katie Johnson. Now back to Swearingen. Drives in. Shot there. Doesn't go. Put back by Nevada. Is good, though. That is Katie Johnson. That'll make it 5-2. Abby Gorman has it on the far side. Now kicks it to Allie Brown. Now back to the top of the key. They get it inside, and we got a whistle, and they're going to get a foul, I believe, on Nevada. It'll be the first one on their Lady Tigers. Foul's going to go on Lakin Applegate. And free throws now for Kylie Comstock. Kylie coming into this one today. She's a 53% free throw shooter, but missed the first there. And now J.C. Rogers will check in, a 5'9" sophomore for the Lady Tigers, as Raven comes out. Second free throw is also no good, but Fort Scott was able to chase it down. Nevada knocked it out of bounds, so it'll be Fort Scott basketball. 4:46 to play. Keegan's got it left side. Now kick to Allie Brown. Back to Keegan. And trying a no-look pass there, but didn't end up where Fort Scott wanted it. Get it across the timeline. Right side now to Holcomb. Now back around to Swearingen on the left side. Clara Swearingen with the basketball. Now kicks it around right side. Three-pointer on the way. That one too short, but rebound put back is good for Katie Johnson. She's got two of those, and it's now 7-2 in favor of Nevada. Fort Scott, this is probably the biggest punch in the mouth they've gotten to start a game so far this season. Ball deflected into backcourt. Fort Scott gets it back now. Gorman gets it across the timeline, and they'll get a foul on Nevada. I believe it goes on Clara Swearingen, and the Tigers, Fort Scott will take a timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Clara Swearingen again gets her first foul of the game. And Fort Scott calls a 30-second timeout. 7-2, Nevada with the lead. I'm saying Fort Scott with the lead all year. Nevada with the lead right now, 7-2, 3:54 to go here in the first quarter. Fort Scott taking their first timeout. Trying to stop the Nevada momentum. Out of the timeout, it'll be Fort Scott basketball. Get it back out to Allie Brown. She'll reset the offense against the Nevada defense. Now they kick it to Keegan, back to Brown. Jump shot from the top is good. See if that can get Fort Scott going a little bit here. Their defense, which has been so strong this season, is yet to force a turnover, I believe, on Nevada. We'll have to check that here in a little bit. Drive to the bucket, now kick it back out. Johnson's got it for Nevada. She'll try to get inside that 2-3 zone. Now kicks it back out to Clara Swearingen. Back around, back out. Swearingen, 30-footer, and she made it. That was a deep three from the volleyball line, and she nailed it. It's now 10-4. And a travel called on Abby Gorman. Fort Scott has to get some momentum going here. They're going to get a quick sub, it looks like, as Claire McElroy, 5'3" sophomore, will check in for Abby. .237 to go here in the first quarter. Nevada with the lead, 10-4, and they have the basketball. Works it over to Applegate. Now back to the top to Swearingen. She'll drive in just inside the three-point line and hits that one as well. And Clara Swearingen has 8 now for Nevada. They lead at 12-4. This, I believe, is the largest deficit Fort Scott has faced all season to this point. Another turnover for Fort Scott. And quickly down the court comes Nevada. Back around to Holcomb. Now they'll find Applegate on the right side wing. Drives, kicks it back around. They'll go left side with it, over to Holcomb. Now into the corner it goes. They'll go cross court with it. Three-pointer on the way. That one is good from Lakin Applegate, and Fort Scott is in a major trouble spot here. Trailing by 11. Three-pointer at the other end. That one goes for Keegan Yarrick. We'll see if they can get her going a little bit. That'll make it 15-7. Now Nevada breaks the press. Again, Fort Scott has not executed that as well here in this one so far. Back to Applegate on the right side wing. Being guarded there by Keegan. Now they'll pass it off in this 2-3 zone for Fort Scott. Nevada kicks it into the corner to Kara Phillips. Three-pointer on the way. This one from Swearingen over 2 defenders, and she made it, and another Fort Scott timeout. Oh, we're starting to figure out why Clara Swearingen was nominated for McDonald's All-American. She has 11 points. 3 3-pointers, and none of them have been wall scrapers, so to speak. She has hit a couple of them over defense. She hit one from the volleyball line in between the center circle and the three-point line at the top of the key. Fort Scott's going to have to figure something out against Clara Swearingen for the rest of the day, or it may be a long afternoon for the Fort Scott Lady Tigers. One thing you know about Fort Scott and Coach Steps, they will not quit. That is for sure, and they get it down the court and draw a foul here. With 35 seconds to go. Looks like free throw's coming. Foul's going to go Lacey Swearingen, who's just checked into the game. Lucy Swearingen, rather. She gets her first, and Kylie will be, Keegan at the line for 2. Makes the first. And gets the second one as well. Fort Scott not out of it, but they're going to have to figure out something on Clara Swearingen in a hurry. Drive to the bucket. Shot no good. Rebound Fort Scott. And another Fort Scott turnover. 14 seconds to go in the quarter. Clara Swearingen out front. She'll kick it back to the top of the key. Applegate for 3, and she buries it as well. So Lakin Applegate, that's her second three of the game. 21-9. Three-pointer at the buzzer for Fort Scott doesn't go, and that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. And it was probably, I don't think there's much question about it, the toughest quarter of Fort Scott Lady Tiger basketball this season. They trail it 21-9 here at the end of 8 minutes. H2 Painting LLC, the right way the first time. Look them up on Facebook at facebook.com/H2PaintingSEK or call them at 620-605-2769. Your first quarter brought to you today by Edward Jones financial advisor Jamie Armstrong. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact her by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. Underway here in the second quarter. And a shot good. Allie Brown with a three-pointer there for Fort Scott. So that'll start the quarter on the right side for the hometown Lady Tigers. Shot inside for Nevada, and that one's going to go as well for Katie Johnson. Katie Johnson has 6 now for Nevada. 23-12 is your score, just underway here in the second quarter. Nevada with the lead over Fort Scott. They get a steal there. Pass goes into the corner, into the hands there of Kara Phillips. Back out to Applegate. She'll drive to the baseline. Now kicks it back to Phillips. Try to get it down low and a little bit too high. Kaylee Holcomb had to catch it and then ends up stepping out of bounds. Fort Scott will get a sub as Raven Kegler checks back in. Another basket there for Allie Brown. Somebody needs to get going for Fort Scott, and if it's Allie, that's great as well, as that'll cut the lead back under double digits. 6.5 to play in the second quarter. 23-14. Drive to the bucket there by Nevada, and the shot is good for Kara Phillips. Brown gets it across the timeline over to Gorman on the left side wing. Nevada in a 2-3 zone as well, and they've got some really long arms that are really hurting those passing lanes for Fort Scott. They get it in, now back out, and then a foul, it looks like, going to be called on Nevada. We'll see, I think. Yeah, Kaylee Holcomb with the foul there. Lucy Swearingen will check in. I believe she replaces Applegate on the Nevada side. Kylie Comstock will also check out for Fort Scott. J.C. Rogers back in the game for her. Brown with the basketball on the inbound play. They get it in. Three-pointer from Keegan. That one goes from the top of the key. Fort Scott needs to get Keegan going a little bit here. Drive by Clara Swearingen. Shot doesn't go. Fort Scott needs to use this as Keegan comes away with the rebound. Over to Gorman. Back to Keegan. Around to Allie. She lost it. It's loose. Does get it before it goes out of bounds. Now back to the top, and that's going to go back court. This Nevada pressure has really thrown Fort Scott for a loop here in the first half so far. And this is what you want. This is something you're not going to see every night in the SEK. It is a tough league for sure, but Nevada pretty talented. What can Fort Scott do to make adjustments? That's the thing, as they haven't had to make a whole lot of adjustments on the fly during the course of a game so far this season. Drive here by Nevada. They'll kick it back out into the hands of Kara Phillips. Back into the lane. Phillips, pass deflected, nearly stolen, but Nevada gets it back. Back to Phillips, three-pointer on the way, too short. Rebound, Allie Brown. Pass to Keegan. She'll drive in, shot there, a little too short. Rebound loose, picked up by Nevada. Now to Swearingen, 25-17. Nevada's still on top here. They've led most of the way. And a left-handed layup for Swearingen that time goes. And a lead back out to 10. Pass goes to Raven in the corner. Shot is a little bit too short. Rebound taken by Nevada. Holcomb has it. She'll drive in on Allie Brown. Shot there is going to be good, and the foul. Brown trying to close her off and couldn't quite do it to the satisfaction there of the official, and will get called for her first foul of the game. Aubrey Arick and Kylie Comstock will check back in for Fort Scott. Free throw is no good. And now Fort Scott has a bucket at the other end. That'll make it a 10-point game again. (29-19). Drive in, shot there, doesn't go. Rebound Fort Scott. Aubrey Arick comes away with the board that time. Fort Scott gets it to Allie. She'll stop, now goes around the right side. Gets it inside the arc, now tries one too many passes that time, and we got a whistle and a tie ball. And I think that's what Coach Steps is telling Aubrey. Aubrey had to look at a shot, and she passed it up to try to get it to Kylie, and there's just too much traffic down there to make that work. Love the unselfish play, but sometimes that'll get you in trouble, and unfortunately it maybe was the wrong play there that time for Fort Scott. Nice job by Gorman to get the ball. Oh, and now Nevada, they called a travel first. Nevada called a timeout, was trying to call timeout, and now the officials are going to talk about it. They called the travel first. So that'll be a turnover on Nevada. Fort Scott will get it back here. Just under 3 minutes to play, 29-19. Fort Scott needs to get some momentum here going into half. Pass to the top, back around to the right side, into the corner. Aubrey Arick with it there. Now back out to Gorman. She'll try from three. Doesn't go. Rebound inside, taken away by Nevada. Three-pointer from Swearingen. Too short. Rebound Nevada. Three-pointer is good from Lucy Swearingen that time. So 32-19 coming up on 2 minutes to play. Three-pointer from Brown, no good. Rebound Clara Swearingen. Now we got a whistle. Looks like a foul on Fort Scott over on the far side. McElroy checks back in for the Lady Tigers. And a steal by Fort Scott. Come the other way. Shot no good. Put back try no good, but a foul. Claire McElroy at the free throw line here. Foul was called on Katie Johnson of Nevada, her first. Claire missed the first free throw. We'll have a second. Makes the second one. I'll make it 32-20. And another three-pointer, this time from Lucy Swearingen in transition. It is a 15-point Nevada lead here. Fort Scott gets it around the baseline. Shot there is good. That coming from Aubrey Yarick. Nevada quickly in transition. Applegate for three at the other end. That one's too short. Nobody there to rebound for Fort Scott. Applegate grabbed it, but her foot was on the line. The ball goes back over to Fort Scott with 56 seconds to go. Pass goes around right side into the corner. Now back to the top to Gorman. Back around. Three-pointer on the way from Yark. That one doesn't go. Rebound, Aubrey Yark. Went to turn to pass it and got it knocked away from her, and then they call a foul, I believe, on Aubrey. Yeah. 37.5 seconds left to go. That'll be the second one on Aubrey tonight. So she'll come out. And J.C. Rogers will check back in for third team foul on Fort Scott here in the quarter. So still a couple to give for the Lady Tigers. Now pass goes to Applegate in the corner, and they're going to get another foul on Fort Scott. This one's going to go on Claire McElroy, it looks like. Well, that's Claire's first. Now Allie Brown will check back in for Claire. 25.9 seconds to go. Inbound play here for Nevada. Get it in deep to Lucy Swearingen. Now back around to Clara. Again, averages 23 points a game, going to Pitt State next year. And she's already got 13 here in this one. Back out to Lucy. Now back to Clara. 10 seconds to go. Long three-pointer. That one too short. Rebound, though, chased down and taken by Nevada. Over to Clara Swearingen. Three on the way. Doesn't go. Rebound, Allie Brown, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. So your score here at halftime, (34-22). Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0300. Joey Fritter is a loan officer with Open Mortgage. Open Mortgage is a multi-channel mortgage lender believing that better is possible, constantly striving to bring a better mortgage experience to everyone. Joey can assist you in buying a home from start to finish. Her office is located at 1 East Wall Street in Fort Scott. Call today to get pre-qualified for a home loan at 620-644-8146. Highway 3 has modern personalized fleece name blankets along with fun and unique personalized gifts. You can also now find Highway 3 products at several retail stores in the area. For more information, follow their Facebook page at facebook.com/shophighway3 or check out their website, shophighway3.com. State Farm agent Cale Nelson is your local agent for home and auto. Contact Cale for a quote by visiting Cale's website at calenelson.com or give Cale a call at 620-223-2828. Excuse me. Chad Cousins is your local 1842 Wealth Management financial advisor. Contact Chad for more information by email at chad@1842wealth.com or call Chad at 620-215-9240. Well, it has been, without a doubt, the toughest first half for the Fort Scott Lady Tigers this season as they trail 34-22 here at the break. Still plenty of time in this one, so don't count the Lady Tigers of Fort Scott out just yet, but they're going to have to get some things going, make some shots fall, and ramp up their pressure on defense a little bit. They have not forced very many turnovers at all for Nevada. We'll get to that in a second. Let's go through the Fort Scott leading scores here at halftime. Keegan Yorick does have 8 points to lead Fort Scott here tonight. Allie Brown with 7, Abby Gorman with 2, Kylie Comstock with 2, Aubrey Yarick with 2, and Claire McElroy with 1. Fort Scott has turned it over 7 times. And does look like, as far as, again, my stats are not official, but it looks like we've got Keegan Yarick with 5 rebounds, Allie Brown and Claire McElroy each with 2, and then 1 for Abby Gorman, Kylie Comstock, and Aubrey Yarick. Fort Scott needs to get Kylie going just a little bit more here. She's she had a slow start to the season, but last few games has upped that average point total up to 10 points per game. She had 17 in the game against Coffeyville last week. And so looking to get that going again, and hopefully they can get her going a little bit inside-outside action with her and then Keegan and some of the other Lady Tigers there. So hopefully they can get Kylie going a little bit from inside here in the second half. And expect that probably will happen for Fort Scott. They usually can get that done. Forgot where I was going with that. Nevada, their leading scorer, of course, is Clara Swearingen. She's got 13 of the 34. Katie Johnson has 6. Lakin Applegate has 6. Lucy Swearingen has 5. Kaylee Holcomb has 2. And Kara Phillips has 2. And the big stat, if I could circle it and put it on the screen, I would do that. If I had a telestrator and everything like that, 2 turnovers is all Nevada has at this point. 2 turnovers. Fort Scott averages forcing 17.3 turnovers per game, and they have only forced 2 Nevada turnovers here in the first half. So Nevada has played well. Fort Scott has not played as well, but we anticipate that pressure to ramp up here in the second half. Fort Scott always usually finds a way to get things going, but they're going to have to do it from a deficit here in the first half. Again, I believe this is the first time all season that Fort Scott has trailed at halftime, as they are down by 12 points right now, 34-22. But if anybody can get it going, I'm confident that Coach Steps and the Lady Tigers Fort Scott can get it going here in the second half. So looking forward to that, and we'll see what comes up. Again, don't forget we've got boys basketball coming up as the nightcap here tonight. Love to show you the brackets. So first of all, let's show you the ladies brackets here. If I can hit the right button, there we go. Yesterday's results look like that down the middle there, as you see on your screen here on Duck Bay TV. Fort Scott with a 56-30 win over Lafayette Wildwood. Nevada had a 53-40 win over Blue Valley Southwest. Blue Springs 65-37 over Frontenac, and then Bartlesville out of Oklahoma defeated Seneca out of Missouri 61-26. So that sets up today's action. This game here, Fort Scott and Nevada, will be followed by the boys' first semifinal. That'll be Life Prep Academy, a prep school out of Wichita. They are taking on Webb City in that first semifinal, so that's coming up next here in the new gym. Then after that, it'll be the second girls' semifinal. That one's scheduled to start at 7 o'clock between Blue Springs and Bartlesville. So looking forward to that. If Fort Scott can come back and get the victory, they'll, of course, play in the championship tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in the new gym. They will take on, if they can come back and get the win, they will take on the winner of Blue Springs and Bartlesville tomorrow afternoon. If Fort Scott does not come back and get the victory, they'll play for third place tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock here in the new gym, and they will play the team that loses the game between Bartlesville and Blue Springs. That's how things set up for the girls. Of course, we got Tiger boys action coming up a little bit later on tonight. They play the final game of the day here in the new gym. So the Lady Tigers with the first game, the Tiger boys with the final game, the fourth game. And they will play Piedmont out of Oklahoma that beat Nevada's boys by 30 or 35 points yesterday evening. Just about ready to get the third quarter underway here. Again, Fort Scott trailing 34-22, but they will have the ball to start this third quarter. Hopefully that's a good omen. Hopefully they can get something going here. We are underway. Fort Scott looks like they've got the starters out there again. So Abby Gorman, Raven Kegler, Allie Brown, Keegan Yarrick, Kylie Comstock. And a missed shot there, rebounded by Nevada. Three-pointer by Applegate doesn't go. And now we got a foul at the other end. Foul's going to go on Kaylee Holcomb, her second, and it puts Kylie Comstock at the free throw line. Makes the first one. And she got them both. Fort Scott really needed that to get a little bit of momentum here to start this third quarter. Kara Phillips has the ball out front for Nevada. She'll go left side, and they lost it, but get it pushed over to Applegate. She'll drive to the lane now, back out into the corner. Katie Johnson drives baseline, gets forced to the middle, now kicks it back around. Three-pointer on the way from Phillips. Blocked, it looked like, but Nevada gets it back. A steal ahead to Allie Brown, around to Gorman, and she'll lay it up and in. Another missed shot for Nevada. Three-pointer on the way, it's good! Egan Yarrick with the three. And now Gorman knocked the ball away on the inbounds play. 34-29. Yeah, it looks like Fort Scott has changed defenses a little bit, going to a box and one. Abby Gorman man up on Clara Swearingen. Everybody else in kind of a 2-2 zone, a box zone. Drive in, shot there, doesn't go, and a late foul call that's going to be on Fort Scott. Foul's going to go on Kylie Comstock, her second, and it'll result in free throws here for Katie Johnson. First one is good. That's the first point for Nevada here in this second half. Fort Scott had cut that 12-point lead down to 5. Now it's back out to 6. Here's the second free throw. That one's too short. Rebound, Kylie Comstock. Allie Brown will get it across the timeline for Fort Scott. She'll go left side with it to the wing. Now back to Gorman. And you got to have your head on a swivel. You play with Allie Brown. She loves those no-look passes. Most of the time they work out. Three-pointer in the corner this time for Brown. Oh, too strong. Rebound on the backside, and a foul going to be called. Oh, they're going to call a jump ball. .5:05 to go, and the ball goes back over to Nevada. Again, Abby Gorman is man up right now on Clara Swearingen. She is the only Fort Scott Lady Tiger playing man, as they're in a box and one defense. And now we're going to foul on Fort Scott. Let's see who this one is on. They've got a couple of choices there. They're going to give it to Raven Kegler. 4:54 to go here in the third quarter. Inbounds play comes to Clara Swearingen in the corner. She'll drive to the top, shoots from 15, and it falls in there. Pass goes right side to Gorman. Now they go inside. Shot there, a little bit too strong off the rim, and now it's knocked out of bounds by Nevada. So Fort Scott will keep possession here. Quick sub as Raven Kegler will check out. Aubrey Yarick will check in. 4:30 to go. Fort Scott trails by 8, and now 6 as they'll get the ball inside to Keegan Yarick, and she makes a 2-point shot. Clara Swearingen passes it off. They get it over to Phillips on the right side wing. Pass deflected. Nevada able to gather it back up, though. Just under 4 minutes to play here in the third. Long three-pointer for Swearingen. That one doesn't go. Rebound now kicks it back out. Swearingen getting ready for those college three-point shots from next year. Long two on the way. That one doesn't go. And now we get a foul called here on, looks like on Nevada. Foul's going to go on Lincoln Applegate, her second. So J.C. Rogers checks in for the Lady Tigers. They get it inside, and Yarick hits the shot. That'll make it a 4-point game, and now Nevada's going to call timeout. What a second half start here for the Fort Scott Lady Tigers, as they have gotten things going. Again, they trailed by 12 at the break. Now trail by just 4, 37-33 with 3:12 to go. And again, Nevada calls, I believe, their first timeout of the game. So Keegan now up to 15 points. So Keegan and Clara Swearingen for Nevada both have 15 in this game. And it is a 37-33 lead for Nevada. They will have the basketball. Had a couple of subs as well. Clara Swearingen with the ball over on the far side. Now we got a whistle, and they're going to call a carry on Clara Swearingen. Pass deflected, loose, picked up by Nevada. They'll get it back. Pass into the corner, three-pointer on the way. That one doesn't go. Nobody there to box out for Fort Scott. Nevada gets the rebound. Another shot doesn't go. And he goes out of bounds over to Fort Scott. .228 to go here in the third quarter. Fort Scott Lady Tigers trail by 4 but have the ball. They get it over to, and they're going to call a kick on Nevada, so it'll be Fort Scott ball. Keegan inbound. She'll throw it into backcourt to Allie Brown. Allie gets it across the timeline to Keegan on the right side. Now they find Kylie. Shot, a little too strong off the back iron. No good. Rebound, Nevada. Swearingen step back three. In and out, no good. Rebound on the floor. And finally taken by Fort Scott. We got a whistle and a foul going to be on Nevada, I believe. Foul on Kara Phillips, her first. Team's third of the quarter. And Nevada will have the ball with 1:55 to go in the third quarter. Trailing by just 4, 37-33. Pass goes inside to Comstock. Turnaround shot off the glass. It goes! 2-point ball game. Pass goes into the corner. Swearingen for 3. No good. Rebound, Fort Scott. Layup, Allie Brown, it's good. We are tied, 37 all. At halftime, I didn't know if this was going to happen, but Fort Scott is back in there. You had a feeling that the Fort Scott Lady Tigers were going to make a run here in the second half. They've gotten all the way back and tied. A minute to go, a little over a minute to go here in the third quarter. Pass goes into the corner. This is Lucy Swearingen. Now back to Applegate. She'll drive right side, kicks it back to Swearingen in the left corner, left wing. Being guarded there. Now kicks it back to Clara Swearingen. Again, boxing one on her. Here's a three-pointer from Applegate. Too strong. Rebound, Fort Scott. So 35 seconds to go in the quarter. Fort Scott may try to hold for one shot here. They get it over. Three-pointer is off the rim, no good. Rebound, Yarick inside. She'll kick it back up there, doesn't go. Rebound loose again, 23 seconds to go. And now Kylie is falling a little awkwardly. She's going to get up. Clara Swearingen for 3 at the other end. That one doesn't go. Put back by Applegate, no good. Rebound loose, finally taken by Fort Scott. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Keegan gets it down the court. She'll go all the way in. Layup is going to be fouled with 6.4 seconds to go. And they're going to get Kylie out here for a breather. She felt a little bit awkwardly. I didn't quite see what happened, but she was slow getting up on that last one. Hopefully she is okay. Foul's going to go on, Nevada foul is on Kara Phillips. And Keegan at the line for 2. Makes the first, and Fort Scott back on top. Makes the second. Fort Scott leads by 2, 39-37. They've made up that 12-point halftime deficit in one quarter. Here's a three-pointer from Nevada. It's an air ball, and that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. And what a third quarter it was. A standing O from the folks in red and white across the way, and the Lady Tigers of Fort Scott deserve it. They have come all the way back and have taken the lead. They were trailing by 12 at half. They now lead it by 2, and it just took them 8 minutes to do so. (39-37). Fort Scott with the lead as we head to the fourth quarter. Got to admit, if it wasn't clear before, I was a little bit nervous at halftime. The Lady Tigers of Fort Scott trailing by 12 points, but they have done what I should know better. They've done what they've done all year, and they had a great third quarter, and they now lead it by 2 as we start the third quarter. Rayleigh Cowan has come into the game. She's a 5'6" sophomore for Fort Scott. She's on the floor right now, along with Abby Gorman, Allie Brown, Keegan Yarrick, and Aubrey Yarrick are the 5 in white for Fort Scott here to start the fourth quarter. Keegan's got the ball. Step back three. Too short. Put back. It's good, and the foul! J.C. Rogers, and she makes the shot. The foul was on Katie Johnson of Nevada. J.C. Rogers made the basket, makes the free throw, and Fort Scott leads by 5, 42-37. Pass goes inside for Nevada. Now they'll kick it back out. Into the corner, long three. That one's going to go. By Kaylee Holcomb. So back to a one-possession game now. We got a whistle, and it looks like a foul going to be called on Nevada here. Pass is shot inside. It's no good. Rebound, Nevada. Here they come quickly into the other end of the court. Looking to tie, maybe even take the lead if they can get Clara Swearingen open for three. 6:30 to go here in the fourth quarter. Pass goes inside to Swearingen. Shot there, no good. Rebound, Fort Scott. Allie Brown has the ball. 18-footer from the top, no good. Nevada with the rebound, and now another opportunity to either tie or take the lead. They're going to try to take the lead with a three-pointer, and they do. Applegate hits it that time. And Nevada goes back on top by 1, 43-42. Fort Scott gets it inside to Keegan. Getting some contact down there, and I think they're going to call a foul on Nevada. This may be the third one on Kaylee Holcomb. Well, they put Applegate up there. That is the fourth one. No, it is on Kaylee Holcomb. Three-pointer from Keegan. In and out, no good. Three-pointer at the other end by Applegate, and she makes it. So Fort Scott's going to have to start getting a hand in Lakin Applegate's pathway a little bit here as Nevada's back on top by 4, 46-42. Pass goes right side, 5:10 to go here in the fourth quarter. Keegan for 2, missed it. Rebound, chased down by Applegate for Nevada. Back around to Applegate. Now she'll kick it far side, back around. Fort Scott still in that box and one, and now they steal it away. Layup by Yarick, no good. Put back is good, and the foul. And that is the 5th foul on Holcomb tonight. Kara Phillips will check back in for her. Free throw, no good, but rebound, put back. Oh, no, that one's good. No good. And a turnover by Nevada. So Fort Scott back with the ball. 46-44. Nevada on top, but Fort Scott with the basketball. They'll kick it to Keegan Yarick on the right side wing. Keegan goes right now back to the left. Back to Kylie out front. Now they'll try to go inside. Ball deflected. Taken by Aubrey Ark. She'll go to the hole. Shot there. No good, but a foul. And Aubrey's going to get some free throws here. This one, I believe, is going to be the third one on Lakin Applegate. So 2 free throws coming. And that is also the 15th foul on Nevada here in the half, or here in the quarter. So that means Fort Scott will be in the double bonus for the remainder of the game here. Both free throws good. We are tied once again, and Fort Scott's going to take a timeout. So 46 all, 4:11 to go here in the fourth quarter. Fort Scott takes their 3rd timeout. They've got a couple left. Coach Steps going over everything with his Lady Tigers. Again, 46-46. Fort Scott with the lead. Excuse me. It's tied. It's tied. Nobody has the lead right now. 46. You get used to that. Fort Scott has won every game so far by 15 or more points. And come into this one at 10-0. And they've had a battle here today against Nevada. And that's good. You need to see this if you're Fort Scott. You want to see this if you're Fort Scott. How do the Fort Scott Lady Tigers respond? And they have responded here in the second half extremely well. Nevada gets it across the timeline. They kick it over to Kara Phillips. Now back to Applegate. Down to Lucy Swearingen. She'll kick it back around. Still in that box and one defense, Fort Scott is. Drive to the bucket there by Nevada, and the shot is good by Katie Johnson. Gorman for 2. Got it! We're tied again, 48 all. Swearingen. Now they kick it inside to Katie Johnson. Back out. Long 2 from the baseline is no good. Rebound Fort Scott. Head to Keegan Yarick. Now back around to Allie Brown. Gorman's got it. 3 minutes to go. Round to Brown. She'll fire it inside to Kylie. Nice little move by Kylie, but missed the shot. Nevada ahead. Shot is good and the foul. Foul's going to go on Aubrey Yarick, her third. And Aubrey will check out in favor of J.C. Rogers for the moment. Free throw by Phillips is good. They'll want to make it 51-48. Nevada back on top by 3. 2.5 to play. Ball loose and now stolen away by Nevada. Swearingen, shot inside, no good. She grabbed the rebound, and now we got a whistle and a tie ball. Possession arrow favors Nevada, it looks like. And now a foul as some feet get tangled up there. Foul's going to go on Keegan Yarick. Just an unfortunate spot there. Just the second team foul on Fort Scott here in the quarter, so still an inbounds play for Nevada. They'll get it into Lucy Swearingen. She'll get it across the timeline, goes right side into the hands there of Kara Phillips. She'll go across court with it. Now back out to Lucy Swearingen. Around to Phillips. Three-pointer on the way. That one doesn't go. Rebound Fort Scott. Now a foul on Nevada. So Clara Swearingen picks up her second foul. And Keegan Yarick will go to the line here for the Lady Tigers of Fort Scott. Makes the first. Makes the second. 51-50. Nevada with the lead in the basketball here. 1:45 to go in regulation. Ball goes to the right side for Nevada. Kick it back to Clara Swearingen. Shot looked like it was blocked. Fort Scott's going to come away with the ball. Two, in and out, no good from Allie Brown. And now Nevada's going to call a timeout with 1:15 to go. A full timeout for Nevada. With 1:15 to play in regulation. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact Jamie by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. H2 Painting LLC, the right way the first time. Look them up on Facebook at facebook.com/H2 Painting SEK or call them at 620-605-2769. 1 minute, 15 seconds left in regulation. Nevada has the basketball and the lead. They'll get it in to Swearingen. This is Lucy Swearingen who'll get it across the timeline. Now over to Katie Johnson. Back to Clara Swearingen. Again, she's being manned up right now by Abby Gorman. Everybody else, well, it looks like a man defense for the entire team right now as we dip under a minute to play, and now Fort Scott's going to get a foul. They've got 2 more to give, so they're going to have to foul a couple more times before Nevada gets put on the free throw line. Foul's going to go on Kylie Comstock, her third. 54 seconds left. Ball is loose in the backcourt. Stolen away. It is a layup that's good for Allie Brown. Some miscommunication by Nevada. 52-51 and a carry, and they turn it over again. And Fort Scott's going to take a timeout. 52-51. Fort Scott Lady Tigers with the lead. They'll have the basketball coming out of their timeout. I believe it's a full timeout called here by Coach Steps. We'll also have 1 timeout remaining. .7 seconds to go in regulation. Fort Scott with a 52-51 lead after trailing by 12 points at halftime. They've come all the way back, tied it by the end of the third quarter, and it has been nip and tuck here in this fourth period of play. Fort Scott is going to come out on the floor with Abby Gorman, Allie Brown, Keegan Yarrick, Kylie Comstock, and J.C. Rogers, the 5 on the floor in white for the Lady Tigers here. Allie Brown gets the ball in backcourt. She'll bring it across the timeline. Fort Scott leads by 1. They really need a bucket here. Pass goes to Gorman out front. She'll drive into the lane. Stops, kicks it back out to Brown. 29 seconds to go. Fort Scott can run some clock. Nevada might have to foul here. Ball deflected, stolen away. 20 seconds left. Nevada's got it. Over. 3-pointer on the way from Swearingen. It's no good. Put back no good. Ball is loose. 11 seconds. Now we got a whistle and a foul on Fort Scott with 7 seconds to go. Nevada's going to call a timeout. It's just the 4th foul, so no free throws yet. It'll be an inbounds play. Smart foul on Fort Scott and Keegan Yarrick, knowing the situation there. 7.4 seconds to go. Nevada's timeout will leave them with 2. Fort Scott has 1. But I'm sure they will play some defense here and hope to looks like Claire McElroy is going to check in for J.C. Rogers here. Again, 7.4 seconds to go. Nevada will inbound the ball on the far side. Fort Scott with the lead, 52-51, just 7.4 seconds to go. Can the Fort Scott Lady Tigers hold on? Inbounds play. Make sure you're in the hip pocket of Clara Swearingen. That's who they go to here. She'll drive to the lane. Shot is off the backboard, no good. Put back is good with 8 seconds left, or 8/10 of a second, and Nevada steals one from Fort Scott. They went to Clara Swearingen. You knew they were going to, or had a feeling they were going to. She missed the first shot, but battled for the rebound, got it back, and put it in. So your final score, 53-52. Nevada with the win over Fort Scott. So again, a tough one here for the Fort Scott Lady Tigers. They fall for the first time this season by 1 to Nevada. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. It reminds you, I'm sure it reminds a lot. It reminds me, it reminds, I'm sure, a lot of Fort Scott Lady Tiger fans of the Sub-State Championship game last year where Fort Scott had a slim lead, had possession, turned it over late, and Topeka Hayden hit a shot at the buzzer, three-pointer at the buzzer that won that game. Very similar situation in Fort Scott. The good news is, comparatively, last year, Topeka Hayden, that ended the season for Fort Scott. This one, there'll be a game tomorrow, there'll be games next week, and the rest of the season to try to rebound from this. Tough one for Fort Scott, though, as they fall 53-52 to the Nevada Lady Tigers. But hats off to the Fort Scott. They trailed by 12 points at halftime. They had that all made up by the end of the third quarter as we were tied going into the fourth quarter. And Fort Scott nearly came away with this one here today. And we were talking about it, the big change at halftime was Fort Scott going from zone to the box and one. And that really gave Clara Swearingen fits. She finished the game with 17. I don't remember what she had. I think 15 at halftime. And she finished the game. So the 2 points was the last bucket, and that was the only points in the second half that Clara Swearingen had for Nevada. So Fort Scott was able to corral her quite a bit there in the second half with the change in defense. So kudos to Coach Steps for having the guts to change the defense, a defense that has worked incredibly well for Fort Scott all year long. That 2-3 zone with the full court, three-quarter court pressure that really didn't do much against this Nevada team. They had some good ball handlers, and it shut down Clara Swearingen in the second half. Again, just 2 points for Clara Swearingen after halftime. And Fort Scott nearly came away with this one. In fact, led this one 52-51 before Swearingen hit the shot at the buzzer to win this one. So let's go through your stats here. Fort Scott's leading scorer, Keegan Yark, no surprise there, 19 points for Keegan. Allie Brown ended with 11. Kylie Comstock with 8. Abby Gorman, 6. Aubrey Yark, 4. J.C. Rogers, 3. And Claire McElroy had 1 for Fort Scott. Take note of this. They turned it over 10 times, Fort Scott did. Let's go back over to Nevada. We'll check that in just a second. 17 points for Clara Swearingen. She was the leading scorer for Nevada here this afternoon. So Swearingen with 17. Lakin Applegate had 12. All of those 12 came from beyond the three-point line. She missed a few. She was 4 for 11 in the game, but she hit 4 threes, had 12 points. Katie Johnson had 9 points for Nevada. Kaylee Holcomb with 5. Kara Phillips with 5. And Lucy Swearingen also had 5 for Nevada to tally up there to 53. So again, your final score, Nevada 53, Fort Scott 52. It's the first loss of the season for Fort Scott. A tough first loss for sure. as they don't get much tougher than a 1 point loss on a last-second shot there. But Fort Scott will have a lot to rebound from and get going again tomorrow, bright and early, at 10 o'clock in the morning. Fort Scott will play in the third-place game here in Frontenac against the loser of the team that loses the game later on today between Blue Springs and let me look at the bracket because I've got the bracket on here. We'll just pull it up. So Fort Scott will play the team that loses between Bartlesville and Blue Springs tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. It'll be here in the new gym. It's the third-place game, so it will be here in the new gym. But, again, Fort Scott will take on the team that loses between Bartlesville, Oklahoma, just north of Tulsa, and Blue Springs from the Kansas City area on the Missouri side. So, again, another formidable matchup tomorrow, and looking forward to that for Fort Scott. And, again, like I said, this game tonight reminds me a lot of the Topeka-Hayden game from last year. The good news for Fort Scott is they've got more games to come. That Topeka-Hayden game that they lost there on the last-second shot last year ended their season in the sub-state championship game. Fort Scott will have another game tomorrow, and then, of course, the rest of the season after that. So this is something that you can build on if you're the Lady Tigers and go forward from, and I'm sure that they will do that. And, again, kudos to Fort Scott for doing what they did in the second half. They shut down Clara Swearingen. Again, 2 points was all she had, and that was the game-winning shot at the very end. So they shut her down with the box and one, and Abby Gorman was the one. So the other four in a box zone, Abby Gorman was one-on-one against Clara Swearingen. Abby Gorman, a 5'6" sophomore, going up one-on-one against a girl that's been nominated for McDonald's All-American, and she is going to Pitt State, going to play for the Gorillas, and I bet she plays a big role for the Gorillas next year. There, Clara Swearingen, and Abby Gorman shut her down in the second half. So great job by Abby Gorman. Great call by Coach Steps and the coaching staff there for the Lady Tigers to change that defense. Again, Fort Scott has been playing this 2-3 zone. It's been suffocating all year long. They are leading the world, it seems like, in forced turnovers. 17.3 forced turnovers coming into this one here today, and they only forced 7 for Nevada, and 5 of those came in the second half. They only had 2 at halftime. So Fort Scott did ramp up their pressure a little bit in the second half, but they changed defenses. A great call by Coach Steps. And, again, great job by Abby Gorman going one-on-one against Clara Swearingen, a sophomore for Fort Scott, going against the senior for Nevada that is going to go to Pitt State and could be in the McDonald's All-American game later on this spring. So definitely a great job by the Fort Scott, especially in the second half, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. Again, the next game here in this gym is the first boys game of the day. Webb City taking on Life Prep Academy out of Wichita. So that'll be that, and then coming up after that will be the game that decides Fort Scott Lady Tigers' opponent for tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then the game after that will be the Tiger Boys, as the Fort Scott Boys will play here as the final game of the night against Piedmont out of Oklahoma. So let's flash the boys bracket up there for you just real quick before we shut off for tonight for this first game here today. So Fort Scott takes on Piedmont. That game is going to start at it's scheduled to start at 8:30 tonight. We'll let you know if it's really far off of that, but we're hoping that broadcast starts about 8:25 or so tonight. And then so that one will be coming up in a little bit, and we'll have that one for you here on Duckbait TV. So don't go anywhere for that. We'll tune back in later on this evening. Maybe go grab a bite to eat. That's what we're going to do, and come back and watch the Tiger Boys with us here on Duckbait TV, and we'll see what happens in that game. Looks like it's going to be a tough one for Fort Scott for sure. Great competition, just like we saw the Lady Tigers have just earlier here again in this game against Nevada. It's going to be a tough matchup for sure, but we're looking for good things from Fort Scott. I was looking at Piedmont's roster. They've got 13 on the roster. 11 of those 13 are 6 foot or taller, at least listed that way. So they've got some size to them and some athletic ability. A great test coming up for the Fort Scott Tiger Boys later on tonight. So join us for that coming up in a little bit. Let's run through our sponsors one more time, as we've got great partners that help us out all year long. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact Jamie by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. H2 Painting LLC, the right way the first time. Look them up on Facebook at facebook.com/H2PaintingSEK or call them at 620-605-2769. Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0300. Joey Fritter is a loan officer with Open Mortgage. Open Mortgage is a multi-channel mortgage lender, believing that better is possible, constantly striving to bring a better mortgage experience to everyone. Joey can assist you in buying a home from start to finish. Her office is located at 1 East Wall Street in Fort Scott. Call today to get pre-qualified for a home loan at 620-644-8146. Highway 3 has modern personalized fleece name blankets along with fun and unique personalized gifts. You can also now find Highway 3 products at several retail stores in the area. For more information, follow their Facebook page at facebook.com/shophighway3 or check out their website, shophighway3.com. State Farm agent Cale Nelson is your local agent for home and auto. Contact Cale for a quote by visiting Cale's website, calenelson.com, or give Cale a call at 620-223-2828. Chad Cousins is your local 1842 Wealth Management Financial Advisor. Contact Chad for more information by email at chad@1842wealth.com or call 620-215-9240. Again, the Fort Scott Lady Tigers lose a tough one tonight against the Nevada Lady Tigers, 53-52 the final score. Tiger Boys coming up again, their game scheduled to start at 8:30. If it is drastically different than that, we will let you know on social media when that will start, but we're planning for about an 8:20, 8:25 broadcast start to that one coming up later on tonight, so join us for that, and we'll look forward to it. Fort Scott Tiger Boys taking on Piedmont out of Oklahoma later on this evening. For my dad on camera today, Willie Abady, to the family back home and to all the duck baits out there, I'm Tony Abady. We know you have many options when watching Fort Scott Tiger and Lady Tiger basketball, but thanks for joining us on Duck Bait TV. Good night, Kansas.